Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're looking to level up your JavaScript, right? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, our goal is super clear. We're talking about cleaning up the DOM, the Document Object Model. More specifically, we're going to break down exactly how you remove elements from the DOM when you just don't need them sitting on your web page anymore.
Now, you already know how to build a page up. You've seen how to create new elements and inject them right into the DOM. But what about tearing things down? Think about it. When a user dismisses a notification or deletes an item off a to-do list, you have to effectively amputate that element from the page. It's a critical skill, and honestly, it's a completely distinct piece of the DOM puzzle that makes your pages truly interactive.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Doing this is actually dead simple. We're going to follow a highly sequential three-step recipe to clear out those unwanted DOM elements. Step 1, grab the parent. Step 2, target the child. And Step 3, remove that child. It's just a couple of straightforward steps, really, but executing them in this exact order is what makes the magic happen.
To get why these steps are necessary, you kind of have to think of the DOM like a giant family tree. You've got your parent element, which is the container, and then you have a child element, the specific tag sitting inside it that you actually want to get rid of. The source makes a fantastic point here. You can't just delete a child element in total isolation. You absolutely must establish a line of communication with its parent first, because at the end of the day, the parent is the one that actually executes the removal.
All right, so step 1, grab the parent.
This part of our recipe is all about hunting down our parent element on the page and locking it up safely inside a JavaScript variable. Let's look at the source's example. Say we want to remove a specific list item. Well, first we have to find the actual list. So we narrow things down by targeting a specific section with the ID of main. We just create a variable called parent and set it to document.getElementByIdMain. But wait, that just gives us the main section wrapper. We still need the unordered list, the UL tag, that lives inside of it.
Now, what's really cool about this query is how we can just chain commands together to find that single UL tag. Since the UL tag is inside main, we just chain a .getElementsByTagNameUL right onto it. And this is a massive reminder from the source. Anytime you query for elements plural, like tag names, JavaScript hands you back an array. Even if there's literally only one UL tag in there, it comes back as an array with one item. So to isolate the actual HTML element itself, we have to slap a 0 inside square brackets right at the end of our command. Once we do that, boom, we've successfully captured our parent UL tag.
Moving right along to step 2, target the child.
We've got the parent UL tag safely stored in a variable. Now, we need to pinpoint the exact child element inside of it that we want to boot out. We've got the list, now let's find the item. So, we create a new variable. Let's call it child. Then we query the parent variable we just made, telling it to look exclusively for its own children. We write parent.getElementsByTagLi. Notice what we did there. We aren't scanning the entire document anymore. We're just looking inside the parent for those specific li tags.
In our source's specific example, this li query comes back with an array of 3 separate items. There are 3 list items just chilling inside our parent UL tag. But we don't want to nuke the whole list. We just want to remove one specific item.
Let's say we want to scrap the very first list item in that menu. Just like we did a minute ago, because getElementsByTagName returns an array, we use our square brackets with a 0 inside to grab that 0th position item. That zeroes in on the very first li tag, and we stash that exact HTML element right into our child variable.
Which brings us to the final piece. Step 3, remove the child.
We have finally got all our ingredients ready to go. The parent is safely stored, and the exact child we want to delete is locked in its own variable. To actually execute the removal, here's the magic syntax. Parent.removeChildChild. You specify the parent variable, call the method directly on it with .removeChild, and just pass in that specific child variable you want to get rid of.
I absolutely love how this command translates into plain English under the hood. Get the parent, tell it to remove a child, and tell it exactly which child goes away. When you hit enter on that code, see ya! That specific li tag completely vanishes from the web page.
But wait, here's a pretty wild twist from the source. What if you change your mind and want to bring that element back? It turns out, running removeChild wipes the element off the visual page, sure, but it doesn't actually destroy it from your computer's memory. The code for that element is still hovering right there behind the scenes.
Let's look at restoring removed elements.
Because a removed element isn't totally vaporized, we can hold on to it. In fact, it's a huge best practice to store the result of your removal in a new variable. Let's call it removed. By writing removed equals parent.removeChild, you're not just wiping it off the screen. You are safely pocketing all that element's code data right inside that removed variable.
So why is this so incredibly useful? Because you can easily put it back. If you ever want to reinsert that element, you just use parent.appendChild removed, and that throws the saved li tag right back onto the page at the very bottom of the list. Or, as the source points out, you can use insert before to shove it back up at the very top. By simply storing the deleted element, you give yourself total flexibility to move things around however you want.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Think about the potential here. How might you use removeChild and appendChild together to build dynamic, really interactive menus? Imagine a user reordering a to-do list, dragging a task from a pending column over to a completed column. Under the hood, you are simply removing the child from one parent, storing it, and appending it to another. Mastering this parent-child relationship does way more than just let you delete things. It literally gives you the power to sculpt your web page in real time. Keep experimenting with these methods, and thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer.